Welcome into Collective Knowledge. I'm your host, Shane Barrett. You can find me on Twitter at FFShaneB. And I'm going to go ahead and apologize to you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a little under the weather, so you may hear some sniffles here and there, but I'm fighting through it for you guys tonight. And joining me tonight is my former co host and friend, who we just reminded ourselves we're literally only a week apart in age, Mr. Sam Wagman, who is a content creator and freelance writer right now. Sam, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing all right. It's been a little bit of a stressful week getting ready for the holidays, but I'm finally ready for this year to be over. Birthday's in a couple weeks since we're both January kids, and I'm getting ready for that. Playoffs are right around the corner.
Yes, sir. You and me both. I know you are also in sales, so I know you're probably feeling that same end of the year, end of the quarter, end of the month pressure that I am right now, which is always fun.
Yep, absolutely. It's been brutal the last couple months.
Yeah, I feel that on a deep personal level. So, all right, Sam, before we hop into the questions for collective knowledge, we do have to do our ad read and, the bills. So, with that said, our ad read is coming from Thrive Fantasy. Come prop up on Thrive this football season. And even though this football season is wrapping up, they do have basketball. I believe they had baseball when baseball season was going on, and they've got other sports as well. So come prop up on Thrive this season. It's a daily fantasy sports and esports app for player props. You choose 10 out of the 20 available props to build your lineup. Each prop is assigned a fantasy value based on the likelihood that the over or the under is going to hit. You choose those, hit the most props, and rack up the most points to want to share the prize pool. I had been doing really well, and then I started bragging on here that I had been doing really well, and I've stopped doing as well. But before that, it is still pretty easy to win money on Thrive. So sign up today, either on the App Store, the Play Store, or their website, www.thrivefantasy.com, and use code FFShaneB when signing up and making your first deposit, and they will match it up to, I believe, $100. But don't quote me on that because I don't remember. Cool. All right. So, Sam, are you ready?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So, first question is always, when was your first fantasy football league?
First fantasy football league was when I was 12 or 13, and I went to. I'm pretty big tennis buff. I played a lot. I played for the last 15 years or so, and when I was in my teenage years, I went to a summer tennis camp down here in Florida. Meet some kids who play tennis that were my own age, get a little bit better around that. And I met this kid who was from New York and had a bunch of his friends, but he needed an extra for his fantasy football league. I've always been a big football fan, but I had never heard of fantasy football.
Okay.
And this was 13, 14 years ago. Fantasy sports weren't that big back then. I don't think they were big at all. That was before Barry joined ESPN. And I mean, we went to his condo and chilled there, and he lived in a really nice place, and we would chill. We would like play ping pong. We would sit on the couch and watch TV, and we would draft. And
Nice.
that was how I got into my first fantasy football league, and I had no idea what I was doing. And the first year, I was absolutely dreadful, and quickly learned that my knowledge of football didn't really extend to fantasy because things just happen differently there, and the best player doesn't always win. So
Absolutely.
that was the first experience of fantasy football that I had, and it was glorious for a couple of years, and then I left the league because it kind of just fell apart little by little, and it wasn't a money league. So I mean, we were too young to play for money at that time anyways.
Yeah.
We were all 13, 14 years old. So at that point there wasn't really a lot keeping it together, and like I said, there wasn't a ton of fantasy football love back then. So
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that answers the next question of, is that league still going? So I'm
it
going to
might be. It's just not with me in it.
Gotcha. So, what is the longest standing league that you have right now?
The longest standing league is my league that I joined with a couple friends when I was in my freshman year of high school,
Okay,
and
cool.
is a bunch of kids I went to high school, middle, and then high school with, and we've kept that league alive ever since then. It's been going 12 years,
Nice.
and or 11 or 12 years. That's one of the two, and it's been great, and I've won it 4 times in those 12 years, including last year.
Oh
And
boy.
I just got shot like a cannon from the playoffs last night because DK Metcalf and Russell Wilson couldn't hook up for 2 more points.
Oh no. Are you serious?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it
I'm
is what
sorry,
it is.
buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, I lost in my Carolina home league with Jay Felicio
Mm.
by about, I think, 2 points, maybe 2.5, um, because Jalen Hurts ended up scoring another touchdown.
Yeah, it's because Jalen Hurts is the beast.
Yeah. So I thought I had it, but apparently not. Okay, so what are the league settings of your longest standing league, the high school league?
It is. It was converted over to a dynasty last season. It had been redraft for years. It's a full PPR league. 12 of us, or was added to 12 a few years ago as well. It's now a dynasty league, but with unique. It's very unique settings. I've never played in a dynasty league, and I'm not sure many people have. It's very the people that you draft
Okay.
always stay on your team no matter what.
Yeah.
But anybody that you once you drop a player or you pick someone up from free agency or the
Uh-huh.
waiver wire, that player goes back into the player pool to be drafted next season. So, like
Interesting.
last year, it was Justin Herbert and James Robinson and Gabe
Oh,
Davis. All were players that were like when I won, I had James Robinson and Justin Herbert on my roster, but
yeah.
because
But
I
you
didn't
picked him up.
draft them, they went back into the player pool, and I drafted
Interesting.
Robinson again this year. I mean, so it becomes interesting there because you have a semi rookie draft as well as a an X amount of player pool draft.
Yeah.
So it ends up being like a weird 8 or 9 round draft every season
Interesting.
where we fill out the rosters again, and then
Yeah.
more turnover happens. So it always ensures that there's going to be a little bit of a lengthy draft at the beginning of each season while remaining a dynasty league. So that's a little
Awesome.
bit of an interesting wrinkle to it.
Yeah, I like that a lot actually. That was pretty cool, and I haven't heard about that before. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, Sam, I know you're a degenerate because we've become very close over the last year. I
Mm-hmm.
know you're a degenerate. So, you're probably in too many leagues like I am. Let's say you can join one more league, but it's got to be your absolute favorite settings to be able to join it. What are those settings?
Um. Well, I am a degenerate. It's got to be a money league. Uh that's the first most important part of all. Any money amount is fine. It's just it needs to be there so I can pay attention to it over the more mundane leagues that I have joined this year. PPR is great. I think that's the best setting. It's industry standard at this point. It's much better that way. Um, I don't know. I like deeper starting lineups. It
Me too.
leads to much more skill. So instead of just having one flex, maybe two or three. Um, no defenses. Defenses suck. Kickers though, kickers are good.
Oh,
Uh,
all right. Stop the show. We're done. Just kidding.
I'm good with just one quarterback. What I've learned in my first year of doing a super flex leagues, I'd never done super flex before this year, is that I'm not very good at it because
Okay.
I tend to wait on quarterbacks too long, and
Yeah.
I don't, and so I'm left with like a very mediocre second quarterback, and I don't love that.
Gotcha.
And so you have that. So one quarterback PPR. I don't know. Other than that, I mean, I'm fine. I don't need any crazy numerical settings. You know,
No tight end premium.
I mean, it doesn't need to be. It's fine with it. Like, look, me being who I am, my whole thing this year was to draft a tight end super early in every
Yeah.
league I could.
Yep.
So I was already doing that. You know, being a tight end premium doesn't make much of a difference to me. You know, I like having more of an importance on a tight end, but they're already important enough to me as it is. So
Yeah.
I treat every league as if it's tight end premium. I draft tight ends plenty early, and it burned me in a couple leagues, and it saved me in a couple others.
Yeah. Totally.
So
I had a lot of TJ Hawkinson this year, and I don't. I really don't know if you could say it paid off or. He was just kind of. I
he
don't
was
know. It was
meh.
weird.
He was very
Yeah.
meh.
He was very meh for what I thought should have been a good year, but I don't know who to blame that on, him or just the Lions in general.
Yeah, I think you can blame the Lions there.
All right. So when it comes to PPR, do you prefer just straight up 1 point PPR, or do you like half PPR, tiered PPR?
No, I like PPR though. I will say playing with the tiered PPR that was in Scott Fish Bowl and Warrior Bowl and a couple others probably playoff as well. Though I did terrible in that league.
It's
Um,
okay.
it was interesting to say the least. You know, I really learned kind of how to value my players a little bit more.
Yeah.
And though I still really don't understand the scoring that much. Yeah, that's okay because where I should have paid attention to it was in Scott Fish Bowl, and my fantasy league is a platform that's built for 65-year-olds. So,
Yes. It's
um,
as I think Jay puts it, it's like if you put a fantasy football platform on Windows 98.
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. You're running on the oldest operating system that you possibly can.
Yep. Absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's just it's not a very user friendly platform, and it's not very friendly to figure out how everything works. And it doesn't tell you like straight in front of your eyes. You have to really search for it. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'll study a lot more, and maybe next year I'll make the playoffs. That would be a start.
All right. So when did you start making content for fantasy football?
February of this year.
2021. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Yeah.
And what made you start?
Well, I've been writing for a few Philly blogs last year and the year before. I've always wanted to be a sports writer or a sports journalist, broadcaster. When I was younger, I wanted to be a TV anchor, but I don't know. I never really felt that I had the face for TV, and
It's okay. I say I've got a face for radio all the time.
I mean, face for radio might be a lot better, you know? It kind of feels that way. And but for me, being a sports writer was always a really cool idea because I mean, being able to write about the thing you love, one of the things you love the most in the world, always kind of spoke to me as like that would be really cool, even if I could get paid more doing something else, you know, I would love to be able to talk about football every single day. And I've
Totally.
seen how happy people in this community that are, you know, lucky enough to be blessed and hardworking with full-time jobs in the industry, whether it's as an analyst or as a analytics guy or, you know, in a management position.
Yeah.
It looks like an absolute blast to be able to do that. So I thought, you know, I feel like I have this encyclopedic knowledge of football. Uh, why not put it to the pen and
Yeah. Totally.
try to make a career out of it? And what I quickly learned was that I was a little bit late, and everyone was starting to transition away from written content to digital content, whether that was Twitter or TikTok or YouTube or whatever the medium was for it. I felt that I could also do that. So I did. And I was never a big on camera guy. I was terrified of public speaking when I was younger. In high school, we had to give a speech every year. It was part of private school. like mandated guidelines or something
Gross.
for our school district, and so we had to give
Shout out public school.
yeah, they would assign us a topic and we had to write a speech on it. Middle school was 3 to 5 minutes, high school was 5 to 10 minutes. And
Gross.
I dreaded it every year. Every year I dreaded it.
I'm
It
sure.
was by far one of my most terrifying moments in school was preparing for the speech. And I never thought I would be one to do public speaking, something like this, without a script, without practicing, without anything like that. But I'm kind of amazed how almost naturally it's come
Yeah.
to feel confident in front of a camera to do this. And I feel blessed that I have an opportunity to be in a space like this with so many talented people. I feel blessed for the opportunities that I've been able to get. And I can't wait to try and, go further and, make this possibly something that I can do as a career, because that would just be amazing. Like I said.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you, man. I think my dream job would be an NBA GM.
Hmm.
But NFL GM would be cool, or like president of football operations. Someone that's why I love fantasy football, is because you're making trades, making moves, talking with people, negotiating, etc. I love
Yeah.
that aspect of it, and that's the aspect that I feel like I would love if I were a GM or something.
Yeah,
So
I would love to do this or to be an agent.
yeah,
An agent would be
that'd
awesome.
be
That because just great.
yeah, that'd be pretty dope. Okay,
Hmm.
so what was your first piece of content that you made?
Oh, I remember. It was back for fantasy football. It was back in February, and I just joined 14 personnel.
Okay.
And the first thing I made was a Eagles fantasy football preview, because that felt just really on brand for me to,
Yeah.
do, to make that my first thing. Decide how bad the Eagles are going to be this year. It's basically what it was. It was a lot of doom and gloom. I just thought this was going to be another awful year, and I'm pleasantly surprised at how wrong I was. Chiefly about Jalen Hurts,
Yeah.
about Sirianni, um, pretty much about everything.
Awesome. I think I actually remember reading that too.
Yeah, I think it was just a quick dive into Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders, Nick Sirianni,
Yeah.
and this talking about what I thought we would do with the then sixth pick, which turned into the 12th pick, which turned into the 10th, and Devontae Smith.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
And you nailed that too. I remember you in the offseason, you were talking about how the Eagles were going to draft Smith like all offseason before the draft, and nailed it right on the head.
hey, I still think that he has a very good shot to be the best wide receiver out of this class. I think he plays the best. And look, Jalen Hurts is probably not the best quarterback for him. If he finds a guy that can really let it loose down the field, whether that be through trade or draft in the coming years, I can't wait to see what kind of things that he can do.
Yeah, totally. All right. So, little transition. What is your favorite thing about the fantasy football community?
Hmm. Well, the fantasy community is a very interesting place. Look, it's like any business community. There's going to be some infighting. There's going to be some dissent between people. Not everyone's going to like each other, but I think the thing that's best about this community is how they really all come together.
Yeah.
There will always be something that makes everyone forget their differences, forget their arguments, forget that this guy said this about that guy and that guy went behind this guy's back and did that thing.
Yeah.
Look, we all come together. This is a very charitable community. It's a very caring community. We learned that when we went to the expo in
Yeah.
Canton. How easy it was to talk to these people who you had only spent talking over the phone with or across webcams to each other. It was
Or for
absolutely
15-minute rides in the car in Atlanta traffic.
of course. Hell of a first meeting there, but Yeah, I mean, look, this community is nothing if not tight knit, and that's like a lot of small industries. My career's industry is the same way. It's very tight knit. Everyone knows each other, so everyone tends to know things, and they come together. So we've had a couple of events like that this year. Where we've needed to come together as a community, and they did, and that's probably the thing I love best is
Yeah,
how supportive everyone can be.
absolutely. I love that. All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself outside of fantasy football. You just mentioned kind of your industry for your day job. We've talked about it a little bit. What is your day job? Where are you from? What do you like to do outside of fantasy football?
Well, I am originally from Philadelphia.
Okay.
Was born there. Grew up in nearby Cherry Hill, New Jersey, which is about 20 minutes southeast of Philly. I grew up there. I spent a lot of time down the Jersey Shore when I was younger. I moved to Florida when I was 10 years old. So I
Okay.
lived here for the past 16 years, and in my day job, I am a manufacturer sales rep for the brand Champion.
Nice.
Basically means I sell Champion clothes to retail stores. All the big accounts, Champs, Journeys, places like that, Hibbets,
Nice.
accounts that I have ran at some point in the past. Um, and that is something that I got into when I left school 6 years ago. I was a little bit unsure of what I wanted to do with my life. My dad presented an opportunity to get some business experience in a time where the industry was not doing that great, and he needed a little bit of help because he needed someone inexpensive that he could pay to help him out
Yeah.
and not pay a full wage. And me being just 21 and fresh off of graduating and not really knowing what I was doing. Took a job there, and I didn't expect it to turn into much more, but it turned into a career that I now love, a business that
Awesome.
I am now the head of in a day-to-day sense, while my dad has taken a back seat to manage things.
Awesome.
And it has led to me hanging out with rappers. It has led to me going to Vegas and other places a ton. It has led to me meeting people that I never thought that I would even be in the same room with. Uh,
Randomly meeting me in Atlanta. I know that's not nearly as cool as the other stuff, but that was still a fun 30-minute car ride
Yeah,
to go
absolutely.
half a mile.
Yeah, it was great. And I mean, the cities that I've gotten to see, the places that I've gotten to stay, not to mention the opportunities it's afforded me professionally, and most of all, the self confidence boost that I've had in
Yeah.
myself since being in this business has been absolutely monumental. So, being able to do something like this has been great. Um, I did not expect anything, and at this point, anything that happens is just gravy on the plate there. So,
Awesome.
but
Do you think your day-to-day job has helped you with your fantasy content? With that confidence
definitely
boost?
Definitely a little bit. I mean, it's very easy for me to talk to people. I'm not a, like I said, not a huge public speaking guy. Never been great at talking to people just off the cuff, but it's definitely helped me learn how to network. I mean, that's the most important thing it's done is learn how to market myself. Teach me that I don't have to just wait for people to come to me. I can go to them and I can,
Yeah.
talk to them about everything. And for someone that's always struggled with, a little bit of anxiety as to that part of it, it feels great to be able to do that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Um, and then a couple other follow-up questions I had for you. What's your degree in? And then where'd you go to college?
My degree is in marketing,
Okay.
business marketing. Um, and that has obviously transferred to my day job, being
Yeah.
able to market myself. And I pursued a journalism major, but
Okay.
I dropped it pretty early on. Something just didn't feel right about that. But
I
I
started as a chemistry major. You're fine.
That I did not know. That's interesting. Can't imagine you working around chemicals, bro. Just does not. Pretty sure we dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, probably.
What else did you ask? Sorry.
Where'd you graduate college
Oh
from?
yes, I went to USF in Tampa.
Okay, nice.
Yep.
Go Bulls, right?
Yes.
Very
Yes.
nice.
Bulls.
There
Hmm.
was a time in college football. Oh my God, this just came up on my cousin's show, I think, a few months ago, where y'all had a QB and a running back. Probably, I want to say like 2008 to 2010 ish, where y'all's QB and running back were just like dynamite. Like I think one was a Heisman candidate. I can't remember who it was now off the top of my head, but I was a Florida or a South Florida fan then.
Hmm.
Looking it up.
Yeah, because I'm thinking,
If you said
trying to
it, their names,
think,
I'd probably remember who it was.
trying to think. I mean, Quentin Flowers was
No,
the last was the last really good quarterback, and he was there when we were there.
we were in school.
Um, that's really it that I can remember. I mean, when we had Quentin Flowers and Marlon Mack and Marquez Valdez-Scantling,
Wow,
that
all
was
three of them went there.
yep. Hmm.
I didn't realize that. That's cool.
Yeah, and I think they were all there the same year.
Nice.
I'm not sure. I don't remember. Not having a stadium on campus really hindered us.
Yeah.
They played their games at Raymond James,
Okay. Cool.
where the Bucks play.
Uh,
So, you know.
South Alabama is, I feel like, was like that for a while. I think they may have an on-campus stadium now, but when I actually went to tour there, they had their stadium was off campus.
Gotcha.
So, all right. What hobbies do you have outside of fantasy football? I know you mentioned earlier you played a lot of tennis. Still playing tennis? You got other
Hmm.
hobbies too?
I do. Tennis and golf for me are the two sports that I play uh, as much as I can these days. I mean, golf for me is just really accessible down here. There's like 5 golf courses
Yeah.
within 2 miles of my house. That's the best thing. One of the best things about living in South Florida is being able to play as much golf as I want, and the fact that
All
all
year
my
long?
friends, yeah, all my well, I mean, now it's in season, it gets really expensive, and it's not almost not worth it. But when it's out of season, we're paying $10 to $20 for a round. It's beautiful, and all my friends play. All my friends play golf and tennis. So
Nice.
it's very a nice coincidence that I got into that with them. Um, as far as outside of sports, uh, getting back into collecting trading cards, which I had
Cool.
done for years and didn't really do that. Still play a healthy amount of video games. Um, God, I'm trying to think of what else. It's not very much that I do. I mean, I could say that gambling is a hobby, but that's more of a vice. But I mean, honestly, I'm a very relaxed, down to earth kind of guy. I'm not a total go out social butterfly type of guy. I hang out with my friends. Uh, Sometimes I'll go fishing here now and then.
Yeah.
My buddy's got a boat that we go out on, and
Ooh, do you ever get to go
that's
deep sea fishing? Is that what you're talking about?
yep. Off the coast, go hunt a couple thousand feet off, and I'm not a very good fisher. They're much better than me, um, but I've learned how to do it. I mean, one of my buddies is like all tactical gear.
Yeah.
He's like he'll dive in the water with the knife in his mouth and go chase that fish down.
Oh, Jesus.
Everything. Yeah, he's full blown like hunter and everything. So, he's way out there on that. But I mean, other than that, not a ton of stuff for me. I'm a
That's all
pretty
right.
simple down to earth guy.
It's all right. You're the kind of
Mhm.
guy I like to have a beer with. All right. You ready for rapid fire?
Absolutely.
All right. Let's get it. Okay. Favorite NFL team?
Philadelphia Eagles.
Favorite sport that's not football?
Hockey.
Ooh, curveball there. Favorite food?
Pizza.
Favorite sports movie?
Ooh. I was going over these pre-show. I'm gonna go with Draft Day,
Oh, I like that. I feel like that movie gets
but
made
also
fun of a lot.
Miracle. Also Miracle.
Okay, two very good movies. I feel like Draft Day gets made fun of a lot in our community,
Mhm.
but I absolutely love it.
I think it's I'm a big Kevin Costner fan.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think he's just a terrific actor.
same.
If not a little bit unloved, and I know a lot of people would expect me to say Rocky given the Philadelphia background, but I mean, I like Rocky, but I don't love Rocky.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, favorite non-sports movie?
I'm gonna go with Interstellar.
Ooh, that's a good one. Hadn't heard that one.
Interstellar is great. I'm a big Chris Nolan, Leo DiCaprio guy.
You and me both, sir. So, do you like Inception?
Yes.
Inception's probably one of
Mhm.
my favorite movies.
Yeah,
All right,
very good.
favorite band?
Red Hot Chili Peppers. My
Nice.
Scott Fishbowl division.
Very nice. Favorite adult beverage?
Uh, Espresso martini. I'll change it up.
Nice. Favorite TV show?
Entourage.
Nice. Okay, these last two, I need all time and I need right now. So, first is favorite defensive player.
All time favorite defensive player. I'm gonna go with Reggie White.
Nice. Solid choice.
And right now, my favorite, I'll go with Fletcher Cox. There's
Nice.
something about that look, and just the way he is overall.
Totally. All right, and then favorite offensive player. Same thing, right now and all time.
Favorite all time offensive player for me, uh, it's gonna be Terrell Owens for me.
Nice.
And right now, God, it's difficult. It really is. It really
I
is
did not
difficult.
expect this to be the question that stumped you.
I mean, I'll go Homer, full Homer. It'll be Devontae Smith for me, just
Okay.
because I'm so in love with the kids' game, and
Yeah.
I really just want him to succeed there. I also want to add Brian Dawkins to my all-time favorite defensive players.
Okay. I'm totally cool with that. That's a great selection. All right. Well, Sam, that wraps up this episode of Collective Knowledge. Before we go, if you'll tell people where people can find you, and anything that you want to plug from a content standpoint.
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitter at swagman95. Pretty much everywhere else at that as well. Instagram's just my full name. But not really working on much right now. I got some stuff planned for the off season that I'm excited to do, but not currently with a team, and don't really have anything content wise to plug other than to go check out my boy Bo McBig Time's hot box sauce as always, because that is the shit. Always best hot box or best hot sauce and seasonings that I have ever tasted there. So go check that out.
I second that. I have a bottle in the fridge.
It's the best place.
All right. This wraps up this episode of Collective Knowledge. You can follow me, your host, Shane Barrett, on Twitter at FFShaneB. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at FF_collective. That is KOLLECTIV. If you like this video, please like and subscribe on YouTube to the Fantasy Football Collective. And the audio only version will come out on the Fantasy Nightcap. Cheers.